Hi, this is Chris Wiley with Wiley Development Group and Tasty Equity. Welcome to the highlight reels from our monthly webinar series.
We are here in a race to 200 stores. We'd love for you to join us. We hit over 110 stores, and that's to Ray's credit and his team, because I didn't get involved, actively in terms of investing in stores till 3 years ago. We have worked together for 20 years across multiple brands. If anybody remembers Skyline Chili, we were involved in that many years ago. This today is a very real race. 110 stores in 12 years. We're opening, I just checked it, so we opened about one store per month per brand this year. Looks like we'll be able to maintain that pace through the end of the year and beat it next year. We are more than halfway to 200 stores. I'm focused on 200 stores because I'm 56 years old and I don't want to do this for another decade. I want to have some fun. I want to help create wealth. Keep laughing. I want to create wealth for our general managers by making them sponsored owner operators. I want to co-invest with my capital markets resources and other operators who have solid operating histories. We together want to accelerate the attainment of that 200 units, because at 200 units, the game begins to change. Very few restaurant franchisors that try ever get to 200. When you get to 200, you begin to attract the attention of people like Darden and Rourke and KKR and the big investment groups. We want to own a piece of as many restaurants as possible when we get there, and we believe we got a fighting chance of being there within 3 years. So if you want to join us for the race to 200 stores, then you probably care a lot about AUVs. For those of you who are new to the business, I'm talking about average unit volume. Some people talk about it annually. Some people talk about it weekly. Our goal is $1 million stores, $1 million annually, nominally $20,000 a week. Let's see, I'm looking at the actual numbers from 2018 in Hothead. Top 10% were $1 million stores. Top 50% were above 750. We just began experimenting with sell-pour alcohol in that brand in the stores where we experimented. Again, still very much a pilot. The percentage of sales for alcohol went from bottled beer and wine, which has been our experience across the brands, at maybe 1% of sales, barely worth the liquor license, to 5% or even more. Did we get as high as 10% in the cantina? I realize it's still very much an experiment.
When we first opened, we were hitting 10 with both Rapid Fire and Hothead as we brought in the self-pour.
Yeah, so again, it's a grand experiment. We're trying to really cultivate date night on Friday and Saturday nights. We're full of TVs, so we're cultivating the sports audience who drops in. It's slowly changing the culture. It is a marketing challenge to educate the audience. If you haven't had full alcohol, that you have alcohol. But our goal is to drive our AUVs up. This is where the AUVs are today. This is better than more than 3 dozen fast casual concepts that are out there in the market today competing for attention. And we are right on the cusp, nipping at the heels of the traditional QSR fast food that you would have seen in freestanding restaurants. And we're committed to doing everything humanly possible to drive up AUVs on a sustainable basis. Rapid Fire Pizza is the same physical footprint, but is a more complex operation. There's more moving parts. I like to say this is like the not fuel-injected Porsches of old, right? You need a real crew. It takes 5 people to get through any kind of a rush. A Hothead you can run with 3 people. But as you notice, the AUVs are very similar. We're trying to get that number up and sustained above $1 million. We are still better than 80% of the people in the space where there is any reasonable opportunity to get control of a market. So what my appeal to you is today, if you're landlocked, if you're looking at getting into the business, there is an opportunity to control a city, multiple cities, a region, or certain low population states, maybe the entire state. You can get in with this as an area developer, and here's why area developers matter. Area developers, number one, only Ray can license area developers. Pete and I are an area developer, and we are a store development company. If you take on a market like Chicago, or a market like Houston, as the area developer, Ray and his team support you. They are the support system. Pete happens to run the marketing. They are the marketing operations, store developer, store opening support operations. At Wiley Development Group, we're here because we could help financially partner with you and arrange financing and arrange some equity and things like that. But irrespective of whether you do it with us or do it directly with the franchisor, you have an opportunity to build a long-term annuity revenue stream. The area developer is an extension of Ray's business into that market. You are the support team. Your job is to recruit and develop franchisees in that market, to oversee those franchisees. It is a long-term play. It is a long-term annuity revenue stream because the royalties, so long as an area developer is doing their job and building stores and signing franchisees with everybody's help, then the royalties go on for the life of the restaurants. I'd close out with the idea that Ray looked hard at the early movers. A decade or more ago, he looked at what Chipotle and Qdoba had done, and he said, I can do that. And he did it. We executed it with Hothead. We doubled the amount of ingredients, came out with crazy range of sauces. We go from mild to wild, as Pete trademarked. And you can franchise it. You can't franchise Chipotle, right? And systems like Qdoba are pretty much licensed out. You can join our system, control your market, and do it. When Ray launched Rapid Fire Pizza, while I was flying around the country in my consulting business, he was flying around the country looking at all the early places, Blaze, Mod, Pi 5, Piology, 1000 Degrees. We looked at what they were doing, and we realized where their Achilles heel was, and it was speed. It was velocity. Those chains have craft pizza. In some cases, great product. What we can do with us, they're already licensed out in most markets. You can control a market with us. We can produce more pizzas per hour. We think our product is better. It has more variety, more sauces, more fun, and we are going into sell for alcohol with a big commitment because we believe the fast casual market has attracted an audience away from the Red Lobsters and Applebee's and TGI Fridays. But those people who are coming down market, so to speak, coming out of a restaurant or a waiter, server, table service environment to get fast casual, if you want to grow your business with them, you have got to have beer, wine, cider, cocktails, or as we're doing at the Cantina, we're selling the heck out of margaritas. People love the margaritas. We're selling so many margaritas, we put margaritas in a rapid fire location. It actually did fairly well. So we're changing the game in fast casual. We'd love to have you do it with us. We're happy to give you a private briefing. After the event, you'll get a link to this, or if you're watching the recording, you can share the recording with your friends. We look forward to the opportunity to speak with any of you individually. Again, check us out on the Wiley Development Group Facebook and or Wiley Development Group YouTube channel. You can watch recordings of these events, and we'll be producing the equivalent of a podcast series for folks who want to just watch sound bites of these or share pieces with their friends.